slap hitter. Why do I have to be like that? You know what, fellas? I'll tell you this right now. It's neat to see all you guys out there. Obviously, says that you're interested in the game of baseball, and that's why we're here too. I just want to say that I've been blessed. I've been in professional baseball 36 years, probably older than some of you parents. But I am played with the Cincinnati Reds. I manage the Montreal Expos. I've been with the Colorado Rockies for the last 8 years. I worked with the Tigers for 11 years as their hitting instructor. I managed the Mud Hens for 2 years. That's where I met Joe. Joe played for me. And I won't say that he was a little slap hitter. He was one of my best hitters. If there was ever a situation where I wanted to win a game, I needed a guy at the plate, except for against one pitcher, right-handed sidewinder. Joe is the guy that I'd call upon because I really knew that he was going to put a good at bat. He always didn't get hits, and I'll say that. He didn't get hits every time up. But I'll tell you one thing Joe did, is he gave quality at bats. He never gave his at bats away. Every time he went up there, you know he was in for a battle. The pitcher was in for a battle. Joe, I know the way he teaches hitting. It's along the same lines as what I talk about. You know, when we talk, Stan, Joe, myself, and AJ, we're not just talking from us. We're talking from our experiences. And again, I've got 36 years in the big leagues. Guys that I've worked with, Al Kaline, Hall of Famer with the Detroit Tigers. Guys that I work with now, Pujols, Derek Jeter, guys that you may know. Troy Tulowitzki's on our ball club, Carlos Gonzalez, a couple of the greatest hitters in the game today, young hitters. That's the information that we're giving to you. It's not just coming from Tom or Joe or Stan, it's coming from these guys that we deal with on a daily basis. And that's why it's important if you have questions or you want to ask some questions from us, ask away. This is a great time for you to learn, and hopefully the time that you spend here, when you walk out of here, you're going to be that much better. And what's really neat that separates you guys from everybody else out there is that you're here and they're at home either in bed or maybe watching cartoons or TV or playing on their video games or whatever, and you're here practicing baseball. And that says a lot about what you have inside, what's important to you. And I'm not saying that it can happen to any one of you in here, but I'm not saying that it can't. Is that if you guys really want to play baseball at a higher level, this is where it starts. Wanting to play, wanting to be here at camps, wanting to learn, wanting to get better, and that's where it starts. And if you want to do that, like I said, I've been in it for 36 years, and I cannot think of anything I'd rather do than be in professional baseball. To be able to go to Yankee Stadium every year and play against the Yankees, to be able to come to Detroit. The Colorado Rockies are coming to Detroit next year to play the Tigers. You know, it's a great living. And we're not all fortunate enough to do it. We were, but again, this is where it starts, and your attitudes that you guys have today. So again, I thank you guys for coming out to participate in Joe's clinic.
Hey guys, my name is Stephen Clarke. As Joe said, I was a local guy, born and raised here in Toledo. Played baseball at Woodward High School when I played University of Toledo. And then I was fortunate enough to get drafted and played 12 years of professional baseball. I was a left-handed pitcher, obviously. I want you guys to listen up really good because I'm here today. The next two pitching coaches that are coming in over Tuesday and Wednesday, they don't know anything. So if you guys want to learn something, you better listen up today. Just kidding, the next two guys coming in are pretty good too. Over these 3 days, guys, you're going to get some different tips and things from me. The other two pitching coaches coming in. Once again, I played 12 years of professional baseball. I started playing when I was about 6. And you know what, guys? All the different coaches that I had, and I had hundreds of different coaches tell me different things and show me different things about pitching. You want to take in as much information as you can, and you want to try and use a little bit from everybody that you learn something from. Not everything is going to work that we teach you guys. You have to pick and choose what works for you. Every single pitcher that you see watching on television and every single hitter, they do little things that are different. Some batting stances are so goofy you wonder how somebody hits. Some pitching styles are so goofy you wonder how they get it across the plate. However, amongst all that craziness that you see in different styles from different guys, there are certain things that every good pitcher and or good hitter does that's the same. That enables them to throw good pitches, enables them to make good contact with the baseball. So even though there's different styles, there are things within those mechanics that enable you to do things correctly. The things that you learn, guys, and this was told to me by a pitching coach in Detroit, Billy Muffett, changed my pitching style completely in 1 year. And what it did was it enabled me to throw more strikes. I could always strike guys out, but I walked a lot of guys. He cut my walks in half in 1 year in about the same amount of innings pitched. And it was just a little thing that he had me do that made a huge difference. The one thing he asked me before I left spring training, he said, anytime you learn something new, chances are it's going to feel funny. It's going to feel different to you. He said, all I ask is that you work on this, take it into a few games. Once you work on it during spring training and in practice, if it still doesn't work, then scrap it and go back to your old style. Because not everything works for every single person. But every time you pick up something new, guys, you learn something a little bit different. It's sooner or later, there's certain things that are going to help. And one day it's going to click, and it's going to take you from one level to the next. Because every time you go up a level, guys, it gets a little bit tougher. You can be the best 10-year-old in your league, in many leagues. The time you're 12, you might not be the best anymore. But it'll flip-flop, it'll change from different levels. But I will say this, the higher up you go, the tougher it gets. Typically what separates guys, outside of the God-gifted talent that some of you guys have been given, is how much you work on what you're going to do. And typically the best players, the time these guys get to the big leagues, are guys that have the best work ethics. Not all of them, but I guarantee you 99% of them is because of good work ethics. So we're looking forward to working with you guys today, and we appreciate you being here.
Tom said something earlier about starting at this age. This is a great age to start. As far as playing ball, getting into it, and really enjoying it. That's why I like keeping this age about 9 to 12. This is the kids that you guys have fun, you're into it. I like some of the teenagers where they know it all. So that's why we enjoy this age. It's a great age.
It's easy to teach you guys at this age, and it's easy to make adjustments. When you get old like Joe, they don't change. They're just so old and set in the ways, and they do the same thing all the time, and you got to make sure to do it. Can I ask you a question? All right, I want to know everybody's name. All right, let me ask you this too. Any of you guys watch Major League Baseball? Raise your hand if you watch Major League Baseball. All right, so everybody rose their hands. So now what I want you to do is just tell us your name, and then tell us who your favorite Major League player is. What's your first name? CJ. Chew from Cleveland. All right. Say it. Miguel Cabrera. Tigers. Okay. What's your first name? Chama? Is that your real name? Really? What'd you say? Cool, that's a good one. Joe Mauer. Hafner. Crunk. Derek Jeter. Okay? I'm sorry? Cabrera. Verlander. He had a pretty good year this year, didn't he? He's all right. Say it up. What's your first name? Jacob. He's in my division.
Tristan, I like
Olvos. Verlander. Cabrera. Curtis
Hey,
Granderson.
hold up, Coach, hold up. Stan Clarke, in case you guys forgot. Okay, go ahead.
We had no Joe Halls yet.
Stan
Yeah.
Clarke, what's up?
Okay, where are we at? Back here.
Justin
What's your first name?
Derek.
Derek Verlander. All right. How about you? Casey? Derek Jeter. Back here. What's your first name? Adam. Miguel Tejada. That's a different one. All right. King Griffey Jr. Did he retire? You could like me, because I'm retired too. David Ortiz. Big Poppy. Robinson Cano. Good hitter. You're a Cano guy too.
My name's Robert. I like Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes. Exciting player.
My name is Bobby. I like
Vera.
My name is Zach, and I like Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez. One of the best hitters.
I'm Bobby, and I like
David Ortiz.
I'm Sam.
Yeah.
I'm Sam, and I like Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols. Did I get you? Back there?
My name is Will Omeyer, and I like Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
I'm Burden, and I like Justin Masterson.
Really? Are you a pitcher?
My name is Logan, and I like Victor
Victor Martinez. Nice.
Who's your favorite, Tom?
You guys, all right, let me see this. Anybody want to take a guess who my favorite player was? Nobody's good. Parents might get it. You guys know. What do you think, Kyle? No. I'm not that silly.
Albert Bell.
Nope. Albert Bell. Wow.
Joe.
Huh?
Joe.
Joe who?
Wasn't
No, he was not my favorite player. Not me. Babe Ruth. It's back in my time. What do you think? That's back in my time too. Now, my favorite player, you guys, when I was growing up, when I was your age, was Mickey Mantle. New York Yankees. I'm actually from Colorado. Born and raised in Colorado. Weather's much like this here in the wintertime. I always had to practice indoors. But Mickey Mantle was my favorite player. I had a chance to meet him. He was a switch hitter. Probably one of the best players in the game of baseball. His career ended short because of injuries and probably because he didn't take care of himself as well as he should. But he was a phenomenal baseball player back in the day. So that's who my guy was. When I started playing baseball, some of you guys may know the guy's name, Barry Larkin. Barry and I played together in Cincinnati. I also played with Pete Rose, and I admire Pete Rose because he's still got more hits than anybody else in the game of baseball. He probably will forever and ever. But those are some of the guys that I really idolized and looked up to.
Mine was like Chris Chambliss. I was, just like TR said, just like a lot of you guys, some of your favorite players are local. See, I was in Kentucky, and at that time we're just getting cable, so Atlanta Braves and the Cardinals were pretty much the only teams that we were able to see. So Chris Chambliss was a favorite of mine. I liked the way he played the game. Wasn't a lot of flair, wasn't a lot of, excitement, but he could hit. Played the game the right way. As far as guys, and I know Tom mentioned Pete Rose and Larkin, and we can all talk about teammates that were some of the best guys, the best hitters that we played with. Mine is by far Frank Thomas. I mean, as far as being able to hit for average power and great eyes at the plate, I mean, he had pretty much everything. He was my favorite hitter, which I thought as a teammate, but my favorite in the game was Edgar Martinez. He was pretty special.
Unbelievable hitter, you guys. Unbelievable hitter. Probably one of the best hitters in the game of baseball of all times, and not very well known. Mostly because he played out in Seattle for most of his career. But I'll tell you what, for a right-handed hitter, it wasn't any better. This guy was incredible. We'll get into why this guy was such a great
See,
hitter.
that comes from hitting guys. If you're a hitting guy, you can see stuff like that. The stuff that he did, it was amazing.
I actually got to play with Edgar Martinez. I played a little bit with Seattle Mariners, and yeah, these guys are right on the money. He spent an entire year in AAA, which is where I got to play with him, and you just knew watching him there, just a matter of time before he played in the big leagues. And he played quite a long time, and he was definitely one of the best hitters around. My favorite guy when I was growing up was a portly left-hander that played in Detroit. Left-handed pitcher. I guarantee you none of you guys ever heard of him, but maybe some of the parents. His name was Mickey Lovich. And that's the guy that inspired me to pitch. Once again, growing up here, I was a Tiger fan my whole life. And Mickey Lovich was around when the Tigers won the World Series in 1968. Didn't look like a ball player, but when he got on the mound, he could pitch.
Why don't you guys all stand up?
Put your gloves